I'm AC Brown, and you're listening to Is My Aura on Straight, a podcast designed to help you start living from your core instead of your conditioning. Each week, we'll have deep conversations that will help you create a powerful transformation that shifts your perspective in life, love, and business, with topics ranging from spiritual self-development, human design, astrology, metaphysics, and everything in between. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Is My Aura on Straight. I am your host, AC Brown. I am your psychic channel and your spiritual confidant, and thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Is My Aura on Straight. Last week, we talked about your moon sign and your emotions. And this week, we're going to talk about the phase of the moon you were born under. And we're going to talk about some of the gifts that your moon phase brings you that are natural to you. And so if you don't know what your moon sign is or the phase of the moon that you were born under, pause right now and then click the link in the show notes or go to www.yourmoonphase.com/find your moon. And then it'll tell you the actual phase and the sign that you were born under. Now, there are 8 different moon phases that can determine key factors in your personality. The moon phases also reflect your soul and its karmic energy. So let's just jump right in. So the first phase are people who are born under a new moon or 0 to 45 degrees ahead of the sun. And so people who are born under the new moon, they have potential to seeing the positive. They have a harnessing type of potential. They are ones that are being in the moment, recognizing their talents. They also have perfect timing. People who are born under new moons have a lot of psychic visions, are clairvoyant. They are very clear in their focus when they're starting new projects, and they offer a catalyst for change into different realms and different, and they initiate different things, newness, like new projects. They have this way about them where they're always embarking on some type of spiritual journey. So those are people who are born under the new moon. Okay. Then you have people who are born under a crescent moon, which is between 45 to 90 degrees ahead of the sun. And they are seekers of knowledge. They are learners. They have a lot of wisdom. Many of those people born under crescent moons are always kind of going through cycles of change in their life. They're always going through transformations. And what is also kind of happening for them too as they get older, when they disconnect from their inner child, they sometimes have not a good luster for life. So if you are born under a crescent moon and you are not connected to your inner child, you want to do that because your inner child is going to shine for you. It's going to bring you that creativity, that passion. It's going to make you productive. These, people under a crescent moon also have an amazing intuition and they have a lot of energy, which is really interesting. Then you have someone who is born under a first quarter moon, which is 90 to 135 degrees ahead of the sun. And they are extremely self-expressive. They are someone who has complex emotions within themselves, but they also have a lot of integrity within themselves. They have a lot of claircognizance, a lot of strong gut feelings. They also have a lot of leadership abilities, and they're very creative and action-oriented people. And they also can be very independent. Many of them have a desire to be in action or to be part of a society, some type of community or something like that. Like they have like a tight circle of, friends, people, etc. Next, we have those born under a gibbous moon, which is 135 degrees to 180 degrees ahead of the sun. And so people born under a gibbous moon, they have the power of persuasion. They have a inner knowing. They have a lot of intuition as well. They also have a very gentle influence. They are influential in a subtle way. They are always in touch with what their physical body needs and what it needs to like have energy to drive them forward. Many people born under a gibbous moon sometimes are, when it comes to their psychic abilities or their abilities in general, they are ones who are drawn to cards. I find that people born under gibbous moon are drawn to oracle cards, tarot cards, or connecting nature with stories. And so that's why cards for them kind of give them like this, this light kind of thing in it, like makes them like, oh, I love it. And so I'll pause here before I go to a full moon. So as you can see, every one of us who's born under these moons, we all born under one of these moons, we have some type of psychic ability and how it shows up, some type of unique talent spiritually and how it shows up. And so when you're born under a certain moon, it shows up in a way that is natural to you. Okay. So the next one that we have is people born under a full moon. Yes, we did give us moon, full moon. So it's 180 degrees to 135 degrees behind the sun, or exactly opposite the sun. So when you're born under a full moon, you're exactly opposite the sun. These people are very psychic, very energizing, very aware of other people's needs, very caring. You can see the potential in other people. They're very motivational. They also are able to share their emotions and feelings very easily. They are very feminine in their energies. So even if you're a man and you're born in the, under the full moon, if you identify with a man, you still have this like kind of goddess energy. And so it's a very feminine energy where it's more about emotions, tapping into your emotions and tapping into spirituality. So anybody born under a full moon is going to be very emotional, but that's because they are very in tune with their emotions. They also have a very high psychic capability when it comes to feelings and emotions. So people who are probably clairsentient, who can feel others, etc. Then we have those born under, I always get this wrong, but it's a disseminating moon. And that's 135 degrees to 90 degrees behind the sun. So these people who have the disseminating moon, I'm always messing up my words. They're also very wise. But their wisdom comes from a lot of past life knowledge and philosophy and past life energy. They are very mystical and they're seekers. So they are attracted to experiences that will make them grow, experiences that will help them understand the current time that they're in. And they love to be in social settings, but also they love to become a hermit and kind of withdraw. So this is someone who has a lot of past lives and they are here to learn more knowledge, learn something new. But in order for them to learn and to store that information within their mind, they have to retreat. Okay. So just keep that in mind if you have this type of moon. Then we have people born under a last quarter moon, which is 90 to 45 degrees behind the sun. So the last quarter moon people, once again, they are attracted to very transformative experiences. They have a lot of soul evolution here on this earth. People born under a last quarter moon are going to experience a lot of soul lessons. That's my belief. They're going to be in a very psychological exploration. They're about growing up when they get here. So their perspective is about awareness, is about knowledge. It's about intuition, but it's about intuition for how other people are using their intuition, if that makes sense. Okay. Then we have, the last but not least, we have people born under a balsamic moon. And I'm probably saying it wrong, but that's how it looks like to me when I read it. And it's 45 to 0 degrees behind the sun. People who have or born under the balsamic moon have a lot of mediumship capabilities, a lot of underworld experiences. They can seem kind of secretive because no one really knows their motivations. They are great at counseling, great at psychoanalysis. They can do a lot of dream work, but they're here to face shadows. And they also attract experiences that require them to go very deep, require them to really get to the crux of things and help guide others after they've done their work. Okay. So those are the, phases of the moon. And so the reason why I wanted to talk about this is, as I'm always saying, we all have these, amazing, talents, these spiritual talents, these divine talents, that we don't tap into, or that we have suppressed, or that we haven't claimed. And we want to know that this is natural for me. This is what it is, who I am, all of that stuff. And so having this awareness can help you tap into those natural abilities and natural things, so you can use them in your life. And so you can always kind of center your professions and your careers around them. I think that we tend to just accept what society has told us we should be, what our parents told us we should be, all of these things. And when we look at these modalities, your moon, human design, astrology, numerology, these are things that this is you, the numbers don't lie, So when you look at that, you want to, really investigate and take a deeper look and not kind of brush this stuff off. Yes, you are more than your human design. Yes, you are more than astrology. Yes, you are more than numerology. Yes, you're more than metaphysics, all of this stuff. Because remember, the 20%, that 20%, that is your life. That's how you were raised. That's what influenced you. That's what you've been conditioned. All of that stuff, your trauma, your healing, your wounds, all of those things are in the 20%. But if we can just start living in the 80% and, heal the 20%, then we all would have a life that feels more in alignment and feels good. So make sure you just keep track of these gifts that you have under these moon cycles, and also find out when your moon cycle is happening, and when you're actually not moon cycle, like, yeah, you know what I mean. Find out when the moon cycle happens and mark that off in your calendar. So look and see when the next balsamic moon is. Look and see when the next, full moon is, when the next crescent moon, when the first quarter moon is, and put that off in your calendar if you were born under those moons. And then just check those abilities that you have. Check how heightened you are or sensitive you are around that time. That's really important. There was this thing on Twitter a long time ago, it always gets passed around. Like, if farmers operate, if the ocean is, if the ocean is run by the moon or moon cycles, which is a big body of water, and we as humans are made up of 70% water or something like that. Don't you think the moon affects you? So, you know, because people are like, oh, the moon, it's the full moon, it doesn't affect me, or it doesn't affect me. I think I hate that the most, where there's this rhetoric that nature doesn't affect us. That a moon cycle doesn't matter. Oh, that's, you know, that's just false. You know, if it's a full moon, or if it's a strong full moon, or whatever, that's in your mind. You're making that up. I've heard people say that. I'm just like, okay, that doesn't make any sense. But, you know, nature is not made up. We are, you know, creatures. We are having human experiences. These are actual things that are happening. So just be mindful of the cycle of which you were born under, and track that with every month when, you know, it passes through, your abilities get heightened. These things that are connected to your moon cycle also show prominence, and you might be more emotional because that's where you were natally born. So just pay attention to that. So I want to thank you all. This is definitely a shorter episode because I wanted to get this out the way as we move forward in our episodes. And I have some really great interviews coming up with some really amazing people. And I just can't wait for you guys to hear everything. I mean, you all, I got to stop saying guys, you all to hear what I have in store. And with the interviews and with just so many new things for the podcast. So I'm really excited. So I want you all to have an amazing day filled with good vibes and great energy. And remember, don't let anybody fuck with you. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to another episode of Is My Aura on Straight? This podcast was produced by Callie Green and edited by Adam Ross. If you loved this episode, please make sure you subscribe and leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Also, make sure you're following me on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Until next time, bye-bye.